I don't know, this is probably one of the hardest videos I've ever had to write. Because it's about The Simpsons, the show that's been around for 30 years. Well, 29, but if there's anything I've learned while in Miss England's class, it's that rounding up helps. 29 years is a long time. You don't want to leave any stones unturned or anything not mentioned. If I was to write a video about The Simpsons, I'd talk about how they started off as pencil sketches done 15 minutes before a meeting in 1986 by a man who did nothing but black and white comics about bunnies. If I was to write a video about The Simpsons, I'd mention that it was a spinoff of the Tracy Ullman Show, and how Tracy got so salty that she tried to sue Fox, saying that she was responsible for the show's success, while she's quoted saying that she hated The Simpsons being a part of her show, and actively tried to remove them. If I was to write a video about The Simpsons, I'd talk about the rushed production of the sloppy first season, animated by inexperienced animators who went on 2 years later to create Rugrats, and how the popularity transpired after the first airing on December 17, 1989, which was completely unexpected for the network and the crew. If I was to write a video about The Simpsons, I'd talk about bootleg Bart t-shirts wrongly giving him a Ninja Turtles catchphrase, or that time Michael Jackson actively wrote him a #1 single, or when he guest starred on the season premiere of season 3 and did all the voicing parts, but when it came time for him to sing, he called in a little white guy to fill in, telling the crew, "It's a joke on my brothers." If I was to write a video about The Simpsons, I'd install every ounce of its success, from beating out the Flintstones after 6 seasons as the longest running animated primetime series ever made, then beating out Scooby-Doo in episode count for the longest running animated series ever made, and then after 25 long years, beating out Gunsmoke as the longest running scripted television series in history. I talk about the huge amount of guest stars that see being a voice on the show as a badge of honor. I talk about the movie from 2007 that, despite coming out in the middle of season 18, is now the highest grossing animated movie based on a cartoon series. I talk about the Simpsons ride in Universal Studios in Orlando and how I forced my mom to take me there that summer just to ride that ride. If I was to write a video about The Simpsons, I'd talk about the timeless jokes. The Bites, the Lizard Queens, the it takes two to lie, one to listen. The couch gags, the chalkboards, the prank calls, the does, I talk about the characters. I mention Homer's arrogantness, yet his love for his kids and his wife stands strong. While being a babbling idiot, it's clear in his mind that this is his family, and he takes responsibility as a father to make sure they're doing fine. I talk about Bart and how he's loud, disrespectful, and a troublemaker, but loves his family as well and is shown countless times standing up for his little sister Lisa, and how whenever he does something really bad, you see it in his character that he's disappointed in himself and wants to do better but just doesn't know how. I mentioned Lisa, the vegetarian, how it's no mystery that she's the brightest one of her family, but she doesn't neglect them. She accepts them and loves them for who they are. I talk about Mars, the non-stop loving housewife who loves her kids more than life itself, but is just as oblivious to her daughter's wants and needs as her aforementioned husband. I'd even mention Maggie and how she's cute, I don't know. I'd relate this to the modern American family and how we exhibit all these character traits, and the ones we don't are shown in the supporting cast. If I was to write a video about The Simpsons, I'd be scared. Scared that I would leave something out. Scared that everything I stated would sound opinionated instead of factual, even if there's already over 24 books published by people with PhDs constantly projecting the same thing that I could be saying to you. But then I would have to remind myself that the whole projection of the series in its 30-year run, 593 episodes, feature film, and dope theme park ride are all based off opinion. The massive public opinion being key and the everlasting impact that it has on our world, and how the way people view the series is how it affects their lives. If I were to write this video, I'd mention just how silly that sounds. But how serious can you get when you've been staring at yellow for the past 30 damn years? Yeah, that's what I write about. The humongous nature of the series and how it's influenced every single show, movie, or piece of music that we listen to, all in its story structure, character interactions, heart, and cast of thousands. I'd write about Homer, Lisa, Bart, and Maggie. And in turn, I'd realize this whole time that I've been talking about us. Okay, here it goes.